Welcome to Jump Math Helps. This is page 25 of grade 5. So here we're looking at two-dimensional patterns. So here we've got a grid and we know that columns run up and down. So columns are this way, right? Columns are numbered left to right. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth column are listed here. Rows run sideways, and for this work, rows are going to be numbered from top to bottom in this exercise. So we're going to call this the first row, second row, third row, and fourth row going across. So columns again go up and down, and rows go left to right. Let's look at number 1. So number 1 wants us to shade columns. So let's do 1b, shade the fifth column. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be this column right here, and you would shade it in. Okay? Let's look at 2, shade a row. So let's say it's the third row. Again, rows for this lesson, we're starting at the top. So 1, 2. So for this lesson, this is the third row of this grid. Okay? So let's keep going on number 3. For number 3, it's asking us to shade rows or columns, and D says diagonals. So let's do the first column for B. What would the first column be? You would shade this column right here. So shade that in, please. And for D, it says the diagonals is what we want to shade, and 1 is shaded already. So you would also want to shade this block and this block to complete D. All right. Let's look at number 4. So for 4, again, it shows this notebook. So you would go and work in your notebook. And I'm going to pull one of these questions and go and talk about this. So it says, describe any patterns you see in the chart below. You should use the words rows, columns, and diagonals in your answer. So I'd be happy for my class if you gave me 1 row, 1 column, and 1 diagonal pattern that you notice. So let's try that for C. So here we go. I'm going to do a new snip of C, and we'll go and work on this. Okay, so looking at C, there are several things that we can see as far as patterns. So I've just picked out a couple of them. So here we've got row 2, and row 2 has a pattern. So row 2 in this case is right here, and you can see the pattern has a pattern rule, start at 9 and add 3 each time. Column 4 also has a pattern going down the column. So that would be right here, start at 21 and subtract 3 each time. The diagonal from left to right, top to bottom, that's going this direction, has a repeating pattern, 12, 12, 12, 12. And lastly, we could describe this one as also having a pattern rule starting from the bottom at 3 and adding 6 each time, 9, 15, 21. You can also label many other patterns from other rows and columns, but just doing 1 row, 1 column, and 1 diagonal would be enough for me. So good job on finding some of those patterns, and try your best on some of the other ones in A and C. And do that in your notebook. Okay, I hope that helps with your jump math.